Hello everyone, it's Susan here. Welcome to my channel today. In this video, I'm going to be working on the open collaboration hashtag Tag Tuesday. And I decided to pull out some of my old acrylic paints and get them onto a tag. Now, this collaboration is hosted by Sheree from Turquoise Dreaming, and her link is below. So be sure to go on over and check her out, and she'll have everybody's links that are participating in her description box. So that one, that nice deep blue, yeah, that wasn't so much working. So I had to put that to the side, and I pulled out some lighter blue in my Dina Wakley acrylic paints. So I have decided to do the next several tags for Tag Tuesday with more of a mixed media style. So, I mean, mixed media is just that, right? It's a mixture of different types of media. And I mean, just think about it. Most of us do use mixed media, right? But in this case, like I said, I haven't pulled out my acrylic paints for a while. Excuse me. And so it was fun to get them out. And I even pulled out all those lids that you see up on top there. So I'll be using those, and we'll use a little bit of ink. And we are going to also be using some Posca paint pens. So what I did was I had those little containers of paint. I think that they are golden paints. And I want to use them up. So I just dumped some of this darker color into my little bowl. And now I'm taking my lids and putting the paint and you'll see here, just on the edge of the lid so that it gives that beautiful circle on my tag. So it may look like it's a black, but it's actually more like a charcoal black. So it's close to black, but it's not quite. Now this was funny. So this that I'm using here, you can see it has like a little, it's actually like it's like a spout kind of thing to fill up my little iron that I have. And I totally forgot that that's what it was. And here I am dipping it in paint. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm using this thing that like I need to put it like next to my little iron. But it did work well. And yeah, so then after I put it in this paint, I cleaned it off and put it next to my little iron where it belonged to begin with. But anyway, so you can see I took, two different sizes to make, these circles that I could then go ahead and basically fill in between them and come up with, just this darker circle. You can do it freehand. You can do it however you would like. But I enjoy mark making on my projects. So that's what I did. And I do plan on using this tag for a project that is coming up. So definitely stay tuned, and on Friday, you're going to see an announcement from Sheree and I for a new collaboration for February. And this is fitting the theme of our February collaboration. So, and it's an open collaboration, and all are welcome to join. Now, it's been a long time since I have done, a project like this one. So I will keep this going for a few weeks with the tags, and do it more with acrylic paints and mark making and that kind of thing. So you'll see that I took those same little paint containers, and I just poured out some white right directly onto the the paper that I'm working on. So let me explain what that paper is. So I call it drop paper. So back in the day, when all I did was mixed media, we would have, it was actually the shipping paper, um, that would come in big sheets, and you could just put it on your work area, and like I would just tape it down, and you would work, and by the end of, after, I don't know, a few months, you had the most amazing drop paper that you could use like for collaging and stuff. It was just like so much fun. So this one is not taped down or anything, but it's the same concept. It's just a piece of paper, actually, from something that was shipped to me. And yeah, so I didn't want to get the paint all over the place. So now, speaking of shipping, I'm using the bubble wrap that is used for shipping. And I took some of that purple paint and I went around just to give it another effect with mark making. And now I'm going to use, this is Punchinella. It is sequin. It's from Sequins. It's sequin waste. And you get it in all different sizes and shapes. And I pulled out this particular size. And I'm using my archival black soot ink. And we're just going to go ahead and, when you do this, you just basically have to look at what you're working on and figure out, well, what does it need? What doesn't it need? Where it needs it? How much does it need? It's actually a lot of fun. Now this right here, so this is, K & Company die cuts, and you will actually see those die cuts in my video on Friday for our announcement. But I knew that I wanted to put one of these die cuts on this tag. So that's the reason I went with that blue and purple color for the acrylic paints, was because I knew exactly what I was going to put on it. So I am just, trying to figure out placement. And some of the die cuts are really too big for this tag. But I didn't want to go with a lot bigger tag because it's not going to be fitting into the project that I need it to. So I just continue placing things around. What I'm looking for is I want these to pop, right? Because that background is very colorful. And yeah, and this was it. This right here, as soon as I put this down, I knew that was the die cut I wanted to use. So I'm going to go ahead and just look through a little bit more to see if I could add anything else. And sure enough, there's a little butterfly, and it was beautiful, and it has that kind of like an iridescent kind of look to it, and it's blue. And then on the bottom, there was like the little bee, and I thought he was cute as well. So I decided to put both of them on here. And now that I know what I want to get on the tag, I pulled out my glossy accents. I also have not used my glossy accents in probably years, yeah. And so of course I had to unclog it, but anyway, it was so good to use it again. It just felt just very comfortable to me, very comfortable. And for anyone that doesn't know, it's glossy, like the name of it says, so you can use it to, if you want to, kind of like Stickles, but it doesn't have the glitter in it, but it is glossy. So, and then for the little butterfly and the little bee, I'm using the Barely Art craft glue. And I go ahead and get those down. And, I'm loving it. So, I love a background like this. And, but I'm also realizing that I do want that flower, to show up as best that it can. So that is where I start pulling in some of my Posca, well, one of my Posca paint pens, and here they are right here. So these are the really narrow ones. I do have three sizes of them, but I decided to use the narrowest, and I haven't used these in years either. So everything, it's like everything I was using, I had to get going again, right? I had to unclog it or whatever. And even with this white paint pen. So it took actually quite a while. And you can see here, I cut a whole bunch of the video out because it just was like too watery. And then all of a sudden, it kicked in, and then it started looking more opaque, like what I am used to. So once I had it to where that paint was coming out the way that I wanted it to, then I went around that whole flower and the stems and everything just to give a little bit of an outline to help it show up just a little bit more. So now, of course, you can't stop without splattering. I'm sorry, I splatter on everything. Well, with my mixed media stuff, right? You just gotta splatter. You just do. I don't know. I think anybody that does mixed media, you let me know. You like to splatter, right? And I even sprayed water right on that paper to get the white nice and wet so I could splatter it. And I'm not using a special brush or anything. All I'm taking is the paint I was using, added water to it, and that's it. So that is my finished tag for today. And I do want to mention a YouTuber that is new and growing her channel, and she has inspired me. Her name is Flighty Rambler, and I will have her link below. Her name is Stacy, and she just inspired me to pull all this stuff out again and get using it, and I loved it. So thanks, everybody.